Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and it's match day 13 in La Liga, and we are here to make our predictions. The way the league is going, it is looking like it is going to be a very easy win for Barcelona at the moment, but there are still a lot of games to play. I have already, in a way, said that I don't think anybody is going to stop Barcelona at the moment, but a lot of you are saying, and in a way, I get it. There are still, only 12 games have been played. There are a lot of games to be played, but it is not looking really good for the other teams are trying to catch Barcelona. We are going to see if something happens this weekend, whether the teams are able to get Barcelona close to Barcelona, whether Barcelona are going to drop the points or not. There are other things happening. The race for those European places is so tight, that it is more exciting than the race for the title at the moment. The relegation battle is also looking very exciting. It is the last set of games before going into the international break, so all the teams would want to get to the international break on a high, and they would not want to lose the points before departing for their international duty. So it is going to be a very interesting weekend. So let's go and make our prediction. The first game, it is Rayo Vallecano versus Las Palmas. It is 9th versus 18th. Now Rayo have had a long rest. They did not play last weekend because of the tragedies that happened in Spain, in the Madrid area. So they did not play. They had a good almost 2 weeks rest. They are playing against Las Palmas side, who had a good run. They won 2 games in a row. They had not won a single game for the first 9 games, and then they go ahead for the first 9 games, and then they go ahead and win 2 in a row. But they lost last weekend, so they have dropped down back to the 18th place. They are playing, as I said, they are playing against a Royal side who are going to be a lot fit. They have had a long rest. Will that have a negative effect on the players? That is a different question, but I don't think I don't think it's going to happen. They are overperforming at the moment. Nobody expected them to be here at the after 12 games in the top 10, and I think Las Palmas, they are starting to make a comeback, but I think this game is going to be just too tough for them. They are going away as well. Rayo had a lot of rest, and I think that is going to really help them. I think it will be a close game, but I think Rayo are going to win it in the end. I'm going for a 2-1 win for Rayo Vallecano. Moving on to the next game, it is Real Madrid versus Osasuna. It is a second versus a fifth. Now Real Madrid know how much of a big game this is. They already have, they are 9 points behind Barcelona. Even though they have a game in hand, but they know these 9 points are going to be really hard for them to catch up to. They got absolutely destroyed in that El Clasico, and after that they did not play a single game in La Liga. They played in the Champions League, and they got destroyed by Milan in the Champions League as well. So they are a team at the moment who are not really in good form, and they are now rumors about Kylian Mbappe not being happy with the way Ancelotti is playing. There are rumors that they are, there have been small murmurs that maybe Ancelotti is gonna get the sack because Mbappe is not happy with him. So Real Madrid at the moment are in a big disarray. It's not really looking good for them, and they are welcoming a side in Osasuna who have really surprised everybody this season. They have sort of become a dark horse to get into those European places. That they are currently, as I said, they are fifth. They have won 3 out of their last 5 games. They are playing really good football, and I think they could really come up and make even bigger problems for Real Madrid, because it is not really looking anything positive news is not coming out from Real Madrid or the Santiago Bernabeu camp, and I think they are going to add to their misery. I don't think Real Madrid are going to win this game. I think they are going to lose the point. The question is only, are they going to lose all the points, or they going to get something out of it? I just think because it is at the Santiago Bernabeu, I think that is the only reason I'm giving them this single point. Otherwise, I think Osasuna were going to defeat them. I think it is going to be a very close game. I think Osasuna are going to dominate. They are going to play their game, and I think Real Madrid are not going to be able to cope with it. They are really struggling. They are not able to fend off these teams who come at them and attack. There is the midfield has not really worked. The attack is not working. So everything is in shambles at the moment, and I think it is going to continue for them. Unfortunately, I think it will be a draw, but I think it will be a low scoring draw. I'm going for a 1-1 draw between Real Madrid and Osasuna. Moving on to the next game, it is Villarreal versus Alaves. It is 4th versus 14th, and now Villarreal are again one of those teams who did not play last weekend because of what happened in Spain. So they are gonna, they have gonna have a lot of fresh players, a lot of players who got a long rest, so are going to be really fresh, and they are playing at home as well. They are playing against an Alaves side who were on a really a bad run of form. They had lost their last 5 games, but last weekend they won, and they sort of attained. It was a very important win off for them, and that got them up to 14, because they were sort of getting dragged into that relegation battle. They're still not out of it. It is very, very tight at the bottom, but they would be really happy that they have sort of elevated themselves to that mid-table sort of position, and they would hope that they can continue to climb up the table. But unfortunately for them, I think it is not gonna happen this weekend. Villarreal have been very, very good. If they win this game, they could quite easily climb to the second position in the table. They are really want to be stay there. They want to get back into the Champions League, and the way that they have played this season, I think it is gonna be an easy win for them. I think it will be a very convincing win as well. I'm going for a 3-1 win for Villarreal. The next game was going to be Espanyol versus Valencia, but of course, with the tragedies that have happened, the game has been postponed again, so we are not going to have this game. But after that, it is Leganes versus Sevilla. It is 15th versus 13th. Now, both these teams have been really, really inconsistent. They are in that mid-table position, and they are not really, as I said, they have been quite inconsistent. You really don't know what type of performance they are gonna give. But I think Sevilla have been a lot better this season as compared to last season. They have not really, of course, reached the height that they were, reaching a couple of seasons before. Like they were the Europa League champions. They were fighting at the top of the table, but they have really dropped down, and I think it is gonna continue for them. They are playing against Leganes side, who themselves, like for them, I don't think it really matters about the position they are in. They just don't really want to get relegated. As I said, they have been quite inconsistent. Just 2 wins in their last 5 games, a couple of defeats as well. So I think it will be a very hard fourth game. Close the fourth game. I think it will be very close, but I just don't see a winner out of this game. I think it will be a very high scoring game as well. But in the end, I think it will end up in a draw. I'm going for a 2-all draw between Leganes and Sevilla. Next game is a Real Betis versus a Celta Vigo. It is a 7th versus a 10th. Now, Real Betis have sort of become like this season become one of those dark horses. That are trying to get into those European competition, trying to get into the Europa League and Champions League places. It is, and at the moment it is very, very tight in those places, and they know they need to get the wins. They drew last weekend, so they dropped a couple of points. That is why they have dropped down to 7th. They are last weekend they were at 5th. So it is really, really tight at the moment, and they know it is very important game. They need to somehow get the win. They are playing against an Osasuna side who themselves are 10th at the moment, but the point difference between them and Real Betis and the teams above them is not that much. Like it's just a 3-point difference. So also Celta Vigo themselves, they would be thinking that they can somehow get in that position, in those European positions. They they could maybe get the win and try to get in those positions and take Betis out of the equation. Celta have overachieved this season. They have been really, really good. Nobody expected them to be this good. A lot of prediction about that Celta Vigo are gonna get relegated this season, but they are overperforming, and they would hope that it continues. But the way that Betis are playing, every close game where where you sort of expected Betis to draw point this season, they have somehow managed to get a win, and where you expected them to lose the game, they have somehow drew the game. So I think they are gonna do this as well. I think it will be a very, very close game. I think it will be a very exciting game. Both these teams like to go ahead and attack. Both this team like to score the goals. They have been both playing exciting football, and I think it is gonna continue. But I think the home side is somehow gonna get a win. I'm going for a very exciting and a very close 3-2 win for Real Betis. The next game is Mallorca versus Atletico Madrid. It is 8th versus 3rd. Mallorca are another team who are doing really, really good. They are overachieving like nobody thought that they would do so good, but they have been really, really impressive in this season. Till now, 12 games in, and they are 8, and they are just a point up behind Real Betis. They are one of those teams that are somehow trying to get in those European competitions. So it is a really, really good season for them till now, and they would hope that it continues. But they are playing against an Atletico Madrid side who, if I'm being very honest, have been quite inconsistent. They have not really performed to the level that you would have expected them to with the signings that made. There was a big hoo-ha that this is going to be the season where Simeone comes back and fights for the title, but it is not gone that way. He has been under a lot of pressure, and it is getting to him. You can really see that the problems for Atletico Madrid keep on mounting. But then you have a week like last week, like they won in the league last weekend. They go into the Champions League. They defeat PSG in the Champions League. So and then he comes out and he pulls performances out, like, and then the murmurs and the claims that he needs to go, they are dried out, and then they go ahead and they have another 2 or 3 weeks where they don't really perform to their potential. So it is going it has been an on and off season for Atleti. They are going away to Mallorca. I think both of these teams have been quite inconsistent, but you would expect that from Mallorca, but not from Atleti. Like Mallorca, for their part, they are doing really good. They have won twice in the last 5 games. Atleti have won twice in the last 5 games as well. So it's not that there is much difference between them, and I think it could turn out to be another game where Atleti really, go ahead and draw points. Mallorca are going to be at home. It is going to be very tough for Atleti to break them down, and the same thing for Mallorca. Even though Atleti are not playing really good that much, they are not able to score the goals, but they have not been that bad defensively. It's the Simeone side. It's hard to break them down, but when you are able to break them down, it becomes easy. But I think it is going to be a very close game, and I think it is going to be a very boring game. I don't think anybody is going to win, and I don't think anybody is going to score. I'm going for a 0-0 draw between Mallorca and Atletico Madrid. Moving on to the next game, it is Getafe versus Girona. It is 16th versus 12th. Now both these teams have really underperformed this season. It's not like everybody expected Getafe, to go and set the world on fire, but everybody thought they were gonna finish in that upper half of the mid-table. But they are not really playing that good. They're just a point above the relegation zone. 1 point above Las Palmas, who are 18th in the league. So they have not really performed. They have won just once in their last 5 games, and they've been quite inconsistent. They are not really able to get the job done. They're not even in the games that they are playing good. They are not able to finish them and get over the line, and they end up drawing the points, and they end up losing points, and that is why they are 16. They are playing against a Girona side who themselves have been quite inconsistent. Like, they had an amazing season last season, and everybody thought that they were gonna have a drop, but the drop has been quite massive. Nobody thought they were gonna be this bad, but the problem is there have been games where you expect Girona to go ahead and win. They have been ahead a lot of the times. They have played good football, but they have not been able to get the results, almost like similar to Getafe. And I think this game is going to be one of those cagey affairs where both teams are trying to cancel each other out, and it turns out to be a sort of a boring slogfest. And I think unfortunately we are gonna get a game like that, and I think we are gonna get a draw. I don't think we are gonna get a result out of this game. I think both of them are gonna score, but I think in the end it will be a draw. I am going for a 1-1 draw between Getafe and Girona. Moving on to the next game, it is Valladolid versus Athletic Club. It is 19th versus 6th. Valladolid, they are on the 19th position. Like, they have lost 4 out of their last 5 games. It is not looking really good for them. They are playing good football, but they are not getting the results. I'll be very honest with you. There have been so many games where against the teams that they are really close to them. There have been 3 or 4 games where I thought Valladolid are going to get the result, and when you look at the games as well, they are played a lot better, but in the end they go ahead and go and end up losing those games. And I think that is why they are here, and they need to do something about that really quickly. They are playing against an Athletic Club side, who are really struggling for some reason. Like, they started slow, but they had a really good run that got them to the upper half of the table. And then the last 5 games, they have been all over the place. They have won just once. They have drew 3 of their last 5 games, and they've lost as well. So the momentum that they had, again, it has sort of fizzled out, but they're still at a 6th position, and they know they are still fighting to get back into those Champions League places, and they know this is the type of games that they have to win. Like, if you are playing against a team who is 19th in the table and you want to get into the Champions League, you need to win this type of games. And with the talent that they have, they should be winning these games, and I think they are going to win it in the end. I think, but the confidence that they are in, it is all over the place, and I think that could play a part. But I think with the talent that they have, it is just too much. They have to win it somehow, and I think they are going to win it. But I think it will be very, very close, because Valladolid know that Athletic Club are going to be in a lot of pressure. Their fans expect them to win, and they know that it is an important 3 points to somehow get back into those Champions League places. And I think Valladolid are really going to push them, but in the end they are unfortunately going to lose. I'm going for a very close 2-1 win for the away side. And the last game of a Matchday 13 in La Liga is Real Sociedad versus Barcelona. It is 11th versus 1st. Now, before the season started, I thought if anybody would have looked at the fixture, they would say it is a very tough fixture for Barcelona. It's a tough fixture for Real Sociedad, and everybody expected it to be a very entertaining game. But the way that Real Sociedad have played this season, and the way that Barcelona have played this season, everybody's looking at this game and expecting Barcelona to go there and have an easy day out and get the win convincingly. But if you ask me, I think this really is a really a tough game, to be very honest with you. Sociedad, they are at home. They know how much of an important game is. The importance of this game. Barcelona are gonna come in and they are gonna try to play their game. They are trying to dominate Sociedad, and Sociedad are sort of having a season where they come out and they give out a great performance when you least expect from it. And I think this is gonna be at that game. I think Sociedad are gonna turn up and they're gonna make sure that they suffer, they torture Barcelona. They don't let them play that they the way that they want. They don't let them have possession for a long time. They are gonna make it a lot of physical death and then Sociedad usually play. And I think it is going to turn out be a quite a physical game as well. Barcelona are gonna show their skill, and I'm not saying that Sociedad don't have the players to show their skill. They have a lot of skillful players, crafty players that like to play good football. But I think the mindset is going to be to, in a way, frustrate Barcelona, that they are not really able to play the way that they want. And I really think that this could be the game where Barcelona actually end up dropping points. They have been on an amazing run. They're winning games left, right, and center. But I think this could be the game where they drop the points, and Real Madrid have a sniff of a little sniff of coming back into the title picture. I think it could turn out to be a very long prediction from my side, but I just feel that this is going to this is what's going to happen. And I think it will be a very interesting game, despite what everything what I have said. It is going to be quite physical and all that, but I think we are going to have a lot of goals in this game, because both these teams, as I like to say, they like to go for it and they like to play good football and score goals. And I think we are going to expect a good amount of goals. I'm going for a 2-all draw between Real Sociedad and Barcelona. And with that, my predictions for match day 13 of La Liga are finished. A lot of wild predictions this weekend, because the thing is, this is a last weekend before the international break, so a lot of teams are gonna be on edge. So that could end up in resulting a lot of us seeing and interesting games and interesting results. So we'll see how many of my predictions are true at the end of the weekend. You guys can go ahead and play with me, make your predictions in the comment section below, and we'll see whose predictions were right, mine or yours. That's it from me in this video. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 450 subscribers by the end of November, so please go ahead and help the channel and subscribe to it. Until next time, bye bye.